Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about the one thing that I wish I understood in my 20s. I'm 45 now, okay? So, and that is, it's that resistance. Resistance is the one thing, the one word that's holding you back from making whatever change it is that you want or need to make right now, okay? So, let's talk about resistance. It's the one kind of resistance training that's the hardest of all, okay? This internal resistance, right? So, resistance, it can take on many forms. It's different for different people, right? I've put a few of those words there: fear, comfort, self-loathing, distraction, procrastination. Often it's a blend of all of those, okay? But whenever you have a change that you're looking to make, and this can be a tough pill to swallow, but almost always it's our own internal resistance that's blocking us from making that change, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story so you can see why I believe this to be true, okay? So I went ahead and created a chart of my vitality. And when I say vitality, what I mean is my overall health. Now, what I've done here is I've done it across 5 categories, with the last one in red, vitality, being an average of the previous 5. Okay. And I gave myself a rating on a scale from 1 to 10, but I multiplied it by 10 again so that the number was by 100. Okay. At each stage of life, broken down by 5 years. So at age 15, you can see here that I subjectively rated myself as having a 20 out of 100 on diet. So why? Because I was eating the standard American diet back then. Okay. So that was really, a terrible, crappy diet. But because other areas of my life were at least average or good to some degree, my average health was somewhere in the middle at 15 years old. Okay. Now you can see here at that age, my mental health wasn't so great. Neither was my diet, but I had enough going for me in these other areas. I was a great student and I had some decent relationships and exercise that my average health of my vitality was somewhere in the middle. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. Fast forward 5 years and you can see what's happened here. Okay. So I continued eating the same crappy diet, but I stopped moving. Okay. And also, I was doing terribly in school. At this time, my career was that of a student. And I dropped off in relationships with family, with friends. My mental health continued to decline. And as a result, when those 5 key areas of life were all, declining in less than 20 or lower, you can see that my general vitality, the average again, is close to zero, near dead, basically, right? So, and that's exactly how I felt. Okay, so what am I showing you here? You can slice and dice life into whatever categories you want, but each area can either pull down or, as we'll see in a moment, uplift the rest. Okay, let's fast forward another 5 years. Okay, here at around age 25, what happened? Well, my diet was still pretty poor, but I did start to get off the couch and move around a little bit. And I started to resume school and work. And I started to have better relationships. And most importantly, I started to get help for myself inside my head. And that combined to increase my vitality to at least approaching, medium. Okay. Now, this presentation is about resistance, and let me just back up before we go forward. A big thing for me of why I went from here to here was that I was not willing to ask for help. Okay, and that's how I ended up so low. That was my main form of resistance. There were others, and I still deal with resistance today just like you do, okay? But I was unwilling to ask for help at that time, and that that was an internal thing that had I known back then, okay, that all I had to do was get a little help, I may not have ended up so low. Now, I'm glad I did because I learned from it, okay? And you can see what happened is around this time I started to get help in various areas. And then, of course, when I did that and reached out, then I started to help myself a little bit more and more. And fast forward to the next slide, you can see here, at this time, I really started to improve my diet, improve my movement, and work was going better, and relationships were going much better, and I continued to improve my mental health, and now I'm back above where I was in my teens with an average score of 63 at that point. Fast forward again to 35, and then between these 5 years of my life, I really started to dial in my diet. So you can see my ratings here. My diet at this point is a in the 80s, and my movement is in the 80s, and my career was in the 90s, and my relationships were in the 80s, as that was around the time that it started, things were getting much better for me. And so overall, by the time I hit 35, I was feeling great. Okay, two more slides, when I talk about me, and then we'll talk about more about you at the end. When I hit age 40, okay, you can see that I now have my diet rated in the high 90s and my movement in the high 90s. And you can see that my business hasn't been going so well in the last, at that time. And my relationships continue to improve. I have kids at this age and things are going great there. And my mental health is great. I'm taking very good care of myself, in terms of meditation and stress relief and other factors. But you can see even here, even though I'm feeling great, when even one line, dips a bit, it does, knock down the average, right? And so fast forward to today, I'm 45, and this is interesting because, most things are going great for me. Business could be better. I wanted to be honest in this presentation. And so that, is going to, if I allow it to, continue to drag my vitality down. Okay, so here's the thing. If I resist this, in my own example, for example, if I resist this reality that I need to do something differently here, then that will continue to go down. However, resistance is also the source of your greatest potential. And so, just as I showed you how a person who was so low on energy at one point, practically zero energy, could literally turn it around and become, whatever rating you want to give it, 9 out of 10 in terms of energy and health, which is where I am today. Whatever resistance you're facing right now, that is literally the source of your greatest potential. I promise you. So, I know it's hard. It's not easy to ask for help, to get up, to go to the gym, to change your diet, to get help, if you're stressed. But also, avoiding it is not the path forward. The path forward is through. Okay. And so that's what I'm all about in terms of flip-flopping your energy, right? And flipping your energy switch and all these things I talk about all the time, and being full of vitality. Okay. So, whatever it is that you're feeling in terms of resistance, that is your path forward. Okay. So with that said, that type of resistance training, moving towards it and moving through it, is the most important resistance training you can ever do. Okay. Now, if you need some help turning your health and energy around, that's what I'm all about. I have a completely free community where I have mini courses, coaching calls, training videos, and much, much more to help you in all the areas of life that I just showed you. Okay? So I hope you'll take a look. Again, don't just take my word for it. I've got lots of people in there who are doing great with awesome testimonials. So you can click the link in my bio or hit that URL, school.com/vitality, and check it out. It's completely free. And so in there, I will help you work through any resistance that you are facing. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.